is Pomatic from GodSpeed Nation. Before I get into what GodSpeed Nation about, I kind of told you in the last video, but I'm gonna explain a little bit more. I'm gonna tell this little story about how it came about. Yeah, not a story, but a tale, a Pomatic tale. And it was like was at this little spot, chilling, like a house gathering, what you want to call it. And it was this lady walking around, older, kind of young at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. And she said, "What do you do?" And at that time, I was running hoodx.com, the website. And she was a seer. She was more so like I said, but in the hood, not really knowing her gift, but like fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take it for what it's worth and believe in it. So she was more like an oracle, but then but was forced to believe her powers. And she kept walking around, she read my wifey, she read her friend at the time, and I had went to the store with the fellas, and then I came back, and I had no clue what the fuck was going on. So she had asked me, she's like, "What you do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I told her about the website." She was like, "Well, what it was about?" She seemed kind of boggled, but I could see the diseasement in her mind. And I was like, she was like, "Cause I read people, And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then she was like, "But what's your website about?" I said, "Well, let me give you an example. It's about knowledge." She's like, "Oh, shit. Right, okay." I'm like, "Okay," you know what I'm saying? And she's like, "What you mean knowledge? What type of knowledge?" Woo, woo. I said, "Hey," I gave it a 30-minute intro lit, where you can see a person past, present, and future. 30 seconds of you seeing them if you're in tune with your pineal gland, pineal chakra, your melanin, or your third eye. You know what I'm saying? Or just the hood ass lit, And she was like, "Damn, okay. Can I read you?" And I was like, and then I'm telling you the story, peeps, because this is what inspired me to create GodSpeed Nation. This is when Mother Earth comes to you. I said, "Come to you," like a rule. You come on, man. Come on. Ain't no giving up. Ain't no stopping this shit. You know how dad kick it. So I like, "All right, what's up?" So she like, okay. So she sat me down. And I'm smoking this cigarette because I'm floating right now. I'm trying to ground myself, and shit, sometimes I take the fuck off. So like I was saying, so she sat down, she started reading me, and she was telling me, about my wife and what I should do about my wife, like nothing bad, but it's like, yeah, she feel you this, you that, but she understands. And then I said, hold on. I thought you was gonna read me. She like, "I am." I said, "No, you reading my wife. You telling my wife a story about me. I read me. Look at me and read me. You know what I'm saying? Tell me who you see." And this was the first time this shit ever happened to me. And I knew she didn't know me, so it was very interesting to me, Pomatic, to see, you know what I'm saying, what was finna come out her mouth, as well as what was going on in her head. So she said, "Joe, um, um, okay, um, well," and she started shaking her head. And what I just said is exactly what came out of her mouth. And she said, "Look, I can't get this. I'm gonna tell you. Listen to what I'm saying. I can't get this voice out of my head that this is my son. I was finna just read you. I had you all messed up, but I keep hearing this voice so loud in my head that this is my son." And she was in front of a lot of people, and a nigga was there too. So imagine the tweaking and the uneasiness that's going on in the ether. And and she was just rocking back and forth, And she said, "Y'all got a part of me, man. This voice is loud. This voice is loud. And she was like, she started shaking. Then she started crying. Then she put her head down, and she said, I think that's when she went into trance. And when she brought her head back up, she said, "You know what I'm talking about, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I just put my head down. I just shook my head, you know, because I was fucked up by then. And she said, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "Whoa." She said, "Baby, what happened to you? What is you doing here? You ain't supposed to be doing shit. You ain't supposed to be doing nothing. Why is you here? Oh my God, what happened to you?" And I was like, could this be Aset talking to me? And I ain't fuck that. I knew who it was. And I just shook my head and put my head down because I know, you know, mother found me. Mother found me. Mother been looking for me for a long time. But I never cried to mother. I always cried to the father. But the father gonna give you what you need. Mother gonna give you what you want. So now I'm crying to the mother. And she was shaking her head. And to make a long story short, she was like, "Y'all got a part of me. The voice is too loud in my head. He can see. He see more than me. He see everything. Oh my God. He see everything. Oh my God." And she started crying, and she couldn't stop crying, and she touched my knee under the Jesus, the what's the name, touched his foot, wept, you know what I'm saying? And therefore I knew who I was, and I seen my mother for the first time and heard her voice. So as I withered on the mountain and look, and wither in the wind and look upon the earth, I see it's a cause for something called GodSpeed Nation. Real talk. Mother told me, you got to do your thing, and I said, okay, I'm gonna name it GodSpeed Nation. And this is for the kids. This ain't going nowhere. This is not moving, just like a mountain unmovable. I sustain the hands of time, the violence my state of mind, wisdom sublime, even as a solid rock unshaken by the wind. So we wise men. When you come here, add on. Know that this is a culture in the making. This is yours. This is not mine. This is ours. This is we, not I.